All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this video, congratulations on completing your equation solving stations and diving into the bonus stations. This station, bonus station A, is going to be centered around multiplying binomials using the distributive property. So you've already practiced the distributive property if you saw something like 3 times x minus 4, you remember that you would be multiplying 3 times x to get 3x and multiplying 3 times negative 4 to get negative 12. So that distributive property, that multiplying, is going to be very similar to what we're going to do today with binomials. Now, a binomial is called that because it has two terms. So you'll notice that I have one binomial, 4x minus 1, that's in parentheses, and another binomial, 2x plus 7, and the two of them are being multiplied together. When we see these parentheses next to each other, we know that really that means that we're multiplying. So I have two different strategies to show you. Some people like one better than the other, so I'm just going to do this first example with both. In this first time, I'm going to use what I call the double rainbow method. I need to distribute both pieces of my first binomial to both pieces of my second binomial. So the first thing I'm going to deal with is this 4x. Just like I distributed before, I need to multiply 4x by 2x and 4x by 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is think about 4 times 2. That would give me 8. X times x, something times itself, will result in me having an x squared variable. X times x, we can simplify to x squared. So the first step I did was 4x times 2x, and I got x squared. I'm going to switch colors just to be extra clear. The next thing I'm going to do is do 4x times 7. So 4 times 7 would be 28. And I would have an x with it because 4x times 7 would mean I need 7 for x's. I need to still include that x. All right, so at this point, I'm halfway there. I've distributed 4x to 2x and 4x to 7. So that's half of my rainbow. I'm going to switch colors again. Now I need to deal with this negative 1. I need to do the same double distribution. So negative 1 times 2x, negative 1 times 2 would give me a negative 2x. And then, last but not least, negative 1 times a positive 7 would give me a negative 7. So when you first start this distribution, you should end up with 4 terms. You've done 4 separate multiplications. Now, the last step is just to simplify if I can. So I'm looking at this, and I notice that I have two like terms. I have a 28x, and I have a negative 2x. So I can put those together to create an expression that says 8x squared plus 26x minus 7. Now I have a quadratic expression that's been fully simplified as far as it can go. So that first method, like I said, I like to call that the double rainbow method. A second method that you can use, I'm going to shrink my work down a little bit so that you can see. A second method you can use, I like to call the window or the box method. So by setting up something that looks like a little window pane, I can do the same multiplications in a little bit more of a structured or organized fashion. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my first I wanted to erase that, sorry. My first binomial and put it down the side. So I would have 4x minus 1. Each one gets its own layer. The second binomial I'm going to put across the top, 2x plus 7. Now I treat this somewhat like a matrix and fill in each spot in my window with the correct multiplication. So in this first box, I would be doing 4x times 2x, and I would get the same result I did before, 8x squared. Then, to fill in another spot, I'm going to do the same process. 2x times negative 1 would give me negative 2x. So notice, I'm taking the two pieces, the two terms of my binomial, and multiplying them together to fill the box where they intersect. Moving on to my second column, I would have 4x times 7, which would give me my 28x. And last but not least, I would have my 7 times negative 1, which would give me a negative 7. Notice I have all the same pieces that I did before. This box has the same terms as this expression did. And now I would just do the same thing I did before, where I would combine my like terms. I have my 28x and my negative 2x, and I would still end up with 8x squared plus 26x minus 7. So you get the same answer. It's the same process, just structured a little bit differently. So it's up to you how you solve the next problem. You can use the double rainbow model, or you can use the window or box method. All right, you know what time it is. It's your turn, so stop the video. Try this one on your own on your worksheet, and then push play when you're ready. All right, hopefully you're back and you have an expression. You have multiplied your binomials using either that double rainbow distributive property or your box method. 3x times 2x would give me 6x squared. 3x times 5 would give me a positive 15x. 1 times 2x would just have a 2x. And last but not least, 1 times 5 would give me a plus 5. I'm going to combine my like terms. I have my 15x and my 2x, both positive. So my final result is going to be 6x squared plus 17x plus 5. There is my distributed and simplified expression. All right, get to work on your worksheet. Happy distributing.